wow, a really famous guy's walking down the hall.
Holy shit, it is.
Fucking hey,
Ladies and
man.
gentlemen,
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Ray.
Holy shit.
Sugar
That's a
Ray.
famous guy right there.
Wait, Jim's got to go piss again.
You got to
Yeah,
pee?
you okay?
No.
There he is.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Come on in,
I thought
join
you
the
were lying.
show.
No, he's right there, right
What's
behind
wrong
you.
with you, Jimmy?
Hey, Ray. How are you?
How you doing?
God damn, you look great.
Jesus.
Pleasure.
Unbelievable.
Nice to meet you. Sugar Ray Leonard.
We're on
Great
the air.
shape.
So.
The Big
Oh,
Fight
yeah.
is the name of his book, My Life in and Out of the Ring, that he obviously is promoting.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, we got to say you look great. Holy crap.
Thank you.
Oh, my
Thank
God.
you so much.
What do you,
I almost said, what do you do? But then again, I don't know, he boxed and he's a trainer and he's in shape.
no. That's
Took
a
care
fair,
of himself.
but that's a fair question because a lot of athletes, after they're done, they kind of let themselves go. You see it a lot.
I maintain. I try to do something, pretty much every day. Not a lot, but just enough to keep the engine rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all about attitude.
Yeah.
So when you stopped fighting, like, did you go through a period where, like, you just ate like a pig for a while, or did you like just kind of maintain because you felt like you wanted to?
Well, the first time I retired, of many times.
Yeah, you really were in and out a lot.
I think I hold the record.
Most times coming back.
Yeah.
What was the first? It was the first time. It was like right after you won. Was it after you beat Benitez, or it was very early on?
No, my first comeback. Okay, I retired in '82. I came back in '84, and then I retired after that fight and came back in '80. Then Hagler. Then I retired. I mean, just like it's quite a few times.
Why were you getting out though? Because the book opens. The book is great on the Hagler fight, and I think you're walking into the ring and your mentality about getting ready to fight Hagler. Like, did you keep getting out? Were you worried about getting hurt, or did you just figure I have enough money now?
Well, it wasn't even the money, thank God. And it was, I was 25 when I first retired.
Wow.
And what do you do? I mean, I'm at the top of my game, and my ophthalmologist who performed the surgery because I had a detached retina.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, Ray, if you want to come back, you can, because the technology has gotten so much better, right? And I was so sensitive towards the reaction from people saying, "Oh, he's coming back just for the money or the fame, whatever." At that point in my life, I was coming back because it's my job. I loved it. So I came back and I fought Kevin Howard. He knocked me down, unfortunately, and I quit that same night. I retired because I felt that I was not at my best. Also, the punches hurt. The punches hurt.
So wait, when you fought Kevin Howard, you kind of made the announcement right after the fight. Did you regret that? It's almost like when you buy a round for the house, you're like, I probably shouldn't have said that. I probably should have thought about it a little bit before I say it.
You know what? That is so true. That is so true. When I said it because emotionally I was devastated because my pride was hurt. I was embarrassed by being knocked down for the very first time, and it's like, that's it. I just don't have it, and I retired. And then days later or weeks later, I said, you know what? That was so dumb. Because I didn't give myself a chance to really look at the film and see what exactly happened.
And get past the emotion of having gotten hit like that and knocked down,
Because our head tells us a number of things, And if you don't give yourself time, me personally, if I don't give myself time to really evaluate what just took place, I make some irrational decisions.
Yeah, that's a rash, quick decision to make on such an important thing. I mean, that's your life, your career, and just based on one moment like that, to cash it in, that is a little abrupt.
That is true, but with boxing, everything is instant because your reaction, the crowd, the fans' reaction, everything is instant. The knockout is instant. Everything is instant. So you don't have time, or you don't make time to really think about what's next. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you say for example, you fight Hagler or whatever, and he knocks me out, and then after the fight, the guy said, "All right, Ray, so what's next? What's next? I just got knocked out." You're not thinking about
what's next? That is a dumb question.
And once you
I
say
never
it,
thought of what
it's out
a dumbass question that is. But to ask a boxer after he's been knocked out.
What's next is a good
What's next
vacation.
for you?
Ice pack on my skull. Mark Hagler just punched me in the face.
A plane to the Caribbean. That's what's next.
How long does it take you to recover from, getting your ass beat in a fight? Whether you won or lost, just a pounding. Like, do you have to stay in bed for 2-3 weeks? You got concussions.
It's not that severe. It's not like that. I mean, that's television, that's movies, but it takes a while. And for me, like the Duran fight, 15 rounds of pounding and just absolutely punishment. It took me a few weeks to just get back. You know, the contusions, the knots, and my pain, my ribs. But I'm also 20-some years old, so you bounce. You know, you bounce back.
Didn't Duran too? You said, and the book covers a great amount of the mentality of the fight, which was really interesting to me to see what you guys think and what you were going through. Because I remember these fights when I was a kid, and Duran kind of got you before the fight ever started. He had you because he got in your head.
Yeah, Duran was really a very smart, clever guy, and he gave me gestures with his fingers. He gave my wife gestures with his fingers. He cursed me out. He pushed me. He kicked me. He did a lot of things. And I was always kind of taught to smile when there was cameras around.
Right.
So he's pushing me, kicking me, doing all these things. He's insulting me, and I'm smiling. So it was killing me inside that because on the streets, I fight you back.
Yeah,
but for some reason, I didn't do that. So it bothered me for a long time. And so the press tour we had, I didn't want to be around him because I knew he would come up to me and do the same thing. So I said, you know what? I'll get him back. I'll fight I'm going to beat him at his own game. For some crazy reason, I said, I'm going to fight this guy toe-to-toe and kick his butt. And that didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he hit me so hard, man.
Oof.
You had this reputation, didn't you? And I think you didn't like it, where people felt like, oh, Sugar Ray's popular because Cosell kind of took to you. And then did you kind of resent having to prove that you were a tough guy from this? You didn't grow up in some great neighborhood and great circumstances.
I wish I did, but no, I did not. The fact that they felt that I was kind of network made because of my relationship with Howard Cosell, and the fact that I was on television, then I started doing commercials, and I was leading a life that was not conducive to what they felt would be a real fighter, and they felt I didn't punch, I couldn't take a punch, and I don't know. Those things did bother me because I was sensitive towards that criticism, and you're right. I mean, I fell prey to that.
And when you were growing up, you saw a lot of violence growing up. I mean, it was things I never would have guessed about you from seeing the image. It's like Sugar Ray Leonard, everybody loves him. But, you saw a lot of violence in the house growing up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a norm. And we live in a dysfunctional family. My family was, and I'm sure there's a lot of other families that can relate to what I'm saying.
How about all? How about all families?
Yeah,
Just look around the room.
Yeah. You're in a room of disasters right now.
This is a yard sale of disaster.
This is not one of
Yeah.
But it was a thing that I dealt with, because I was, a quiet, very introverted kid, and I saw fights between my parents. I saw violence on the streets. I mean, there was violence all around me in the environment. I didn't like screaming. I didn't like the verbal confrontations, and I tried to avoid that. And the only thing that gave me a safe haven or sense of peace was boxing. Boxing was my safe haven. And kept me away from all the other stuff because I can control what took place in the ring. I could control that. Outside the ring, I was a lost soul.
It was almost like Mike Tyson when he was younger. I mean, he got in a lot of trouble early, but then boxing was what saved him. And
without question. And you're right. Just like Mike Tyson, boxing was my savior.
Didn't you see your mother stab your father?
I didn't see it, but I saw him with a knife in his back. And it was It was traumatic. I looked at it.
Yeah.
And
what happened? You were I remember from the book.
Well, I was a kid, and they had arguments like most parents and husbands and wives, and but it was, to me, it was amplified, and I heard screaming, I heard yelling, and it always bothered me as a kid. And when I saw that, that freaked me out. It scared me, but I suppressed it. I kept it inside. I never told anyone. I didn't tell my brothers. I didn't tell my sisters how much it bothered me to see my parents fighting, to see fights on the streets. I mean, all those things bother me. But then again, it's crazy. It's like a paradox because all of a sudden I become a fighter.
Yeah, boy, that beats the hell out of my father throwing the spaghetti against the wall.
Yeah.
Damn.
Knife
I
in
thought
the
that was a
back.
bad one.
Wow.
We all do adapt to it in our own ways, and obviously you would like to have grown up in a functional, nice family, but it does make you the person you are, so the end kind of justifies the means. I dealt with it through just being kind of a funny guy in school, and I guess you said you were kind of an introverted kid. I wonder if that has something to do with you being more physical then to deal with it through boxing than somebody like, Jim or me or Opie just, going through certain things and being a little more, hey, me, look at me.
Don't lump me into your pussy crowd. Don't lump me. I sit with Ray. Don't lump me into the sissy brigade.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's two fighters talking over there.
Exactly.
Anthony.
A couple of men of similar ilk.
Jimmy knows how to hit the
Go ahead,
heavy
Ray.
bag.
You can address her.
I just wonder. It's kind of an odd thing that an introverted person would pick boxing as something to deal with life.
Ray, don't think that the guy next to you, Jim, right, that's asking a question, don't think he has his shit together. The guy's in his 40s and he has kiss posters in his bedroom.
You're 40, what you?
42. I look a lot younger than I'm older. I didn't want to say it, but I'll say it.
Jesus.
But that's actually a good question about being introverted, and because like they say, it's the quiet ones that.
Yeah, because it's such obviously a physical sport, and to get into it. And how did you get into it? Was there a gym around?
No, you know
just start beating asses on the street.
My brother Roger would just kick my ass because I'm just there. He was such a bully. And the one day he told me, he said, Ray, come down to the gym. They have boxing. And went down there, put the gloves on. Sense of, this is me.
Wow.
Because I felt that like baseball and football were too dangerous. I never played any other sports because either they didn't pick me because I was such a bad athlete, or I just felt that
amazing.
it was dangerous.
Yeah.
And boxing was a sport that I kind of found boxing found me, and it's mano a mano, because I always felt I didn't need anyone, and again going back to I suppressed it. I didn't tell anyone about my pain. Mm-hmm. The same thing with boxing. Boxing was for me. I could do it myself. I could figure this out, and I did because at 14, I was so disciplined. I was so motivated. I was so committed to that sport that I excelled within a year. Because within a year, I kicked my brother's butt big time. I broke his nose a couple of times.
Nice. What direction do you think, hypothetically, obviously, that you would have gone in if it wasn't for boxing? Do you think you would have gotten into trouble or gone into some other?
It was inevitable. It was inevitable.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, a couple of my friends did some things, and I would have been one of the followers. I would have been with the group. Drugs. I mean, drugs was always around, and there was always things to get you in trouble.
Yeah, some negative.
There was always
negativity around. Yeah.
What happened to you the night? It was right after you won. I think the Olympic you won in Montreal. You said you almost ruined your life at a party. A bunch of guys were in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And you walked in. What happened? It was like a decision that somebody else almost made for you.
Well, you have to understand, when I came back from the Olympics, I got a gold medal around my neck, right? And I'm looking to be like Bruce Jenner, being on the Wheaties box. I get home and front page, fraternity suit, Sugar Ray Leonard, And because back then, my girlfriend, who became my first wife, Juanita, we didn't have money. So to gain, some financial aid, the mother was not supposed to know the whereabouts of the father. So we kind of lied.